There's a moment in every young man's life when he realizes something's wrong, not with him, but with the world around him. And for me, that moment happened at 25, standing in a cold Edmonton parking lot after work, holding my phone, looking at my investment portfolio slowly fall from 356,000 down to $315,000. And in that moment, I realized something I never expected. I'm young. I'm blue collar, I've saved everything I could, and I still refuse to buy a house. Most people don't understand. They hear the surface level decision and assume it's fear, immaturity, lack of planning. But what they do not see is the story behind it. They don't see the nights where you stare at your bank account, wondering if you're falling behind. They don't see the pressure from your family, from coworkers, from society. You're supposed to buy a house in your 20s. That's what they all say. But what if the truth is the complete opposite? This isn't a video about real estate. This video is about pressure. The pressure to conform, the pressure to act older than you are, the pressure to prove you're doing well, even when you're not sure you are. This is a video about a young man trying to build wealth in a world that keeps moving the goalposts. A world where houses cost more than an entire family incomes, where mortgages last longer than marriages, and where the people giving advice are the ones who never lived through this economy. So when I say I refuse to buy a house, it's not because I'm irresponsible. It's because I finally understand what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build freedom, not debt, not stress, not an illusion of stability. I watched my family struggle. My parents worked jobs that drained their minds and their bodies. They sacrificed everything just to stay afloat. Now, society's expecting people like me, right, blue collar, disciplined, trying our damn best to throw everything we have into a 25-year mortgage because that's what adults do. No, not anymore. When you grow up without much, you learn early what stress feels like. You learn what bills do to a family. You learn how arguments start over money. You learn how rent increases can ruin a month, and how the fear of losing your home stays in the back of your mind. I promised myself something as a kid, something quiet, something simple. I said, when I grow up, I don't want my life to be controlled by payments. And that one sentence is the reason I refuse to buy a house today. Because here's the truth: houses today are not opportunities, they're liabilities dressed as achievements. People will tell you renting is throwing money away. They'll say homeowners build wealth. They'll say it's the responsible thing to do, but the people saying this bought their homes in a completely different world, a world where an entire house costs 3 years of salary, not 10. A mortgage payment isn't wealth, it's a bill, but they don't tell you about property taxes, right? Repairs, insurance, appliances, interest, renovations, random emergencies, and the psychological weight of being financially stuck. They don't tell you how your options shrink, how your mobility disappears, how your opportunities vanish. They do not tell you a house is a leash if you buy it too early. And for the first time in my life, I finally realized I am on the right path. I'm worth $315,000 at 25, not because I bought a home, but because I didn't. Because I stayed liquid, because I stayed disciplined, because I invested aggressively, because I kept my expenses low, because I didn't let society push me into financial traps. Most people don't understand the power of staying uncommitted, but I do. Here's my truth. Here are my real numbers. My portfolio didn't appear out of nowhere. It wasn't luck, it wasn't inheritance, and it was not easy. It was built 1 hour of HVAC work at a time, bouncing around random jobs, just one shift at a time, 1 month of discipline at a time. And today, this is what it looks like. Been investing for around 8 years now, and the biggest positions in my portfolio include Nvidia, which is $104,000. It's not an accident, it's conviction. Next one is Tesla. This one's pretty damn high. I ain't gonna lie, I did trim out of it, but we're gonna keep it for a while. Not hype, long-term belief. Got this one mad cheap long time ago. The next one is TD Bank. It's stability, cash flow. It's a foundation for me. It's going to probably be one of the forever stocks in my portfolio. The next ones I got are Leaps. These are strategic, long dated conviction plays, tiny positions that speak a massive truth. And I'm betting on my future. The next one is another safe one, index fund, VFV. It's long-term balance. I got some smaller holdings in Meta, Microsoft, and other stuff, but meaningful pieces of a big picture. $316,000 built one decision at a time. This portfolio is more than numbers. It's proof that discipline beats pressure, proof that patience beats panic, proof that renting doesn't make you weak. It gives you flexibility, mobility, and control. Proof that young men don't need to follow the path everyone else is walking blindly. So when people ask me why I won't buy a house, the answer is simple. I'm not playing the game they want me to play. I'm not rushing into debt to impress anyone. I'm not sacrificing my future just to look successful. And I'm not giving up liquidity in the middle of the biggest wealth transfer in decades. I'm not falling for the trap. I'm building my wealth my way as a blue-collar kid from Edmonton with no shortcuts, no handouts, and no safety nets. If you take anything from my story, let it be this. You don't need a house to be successful. You don't need a mortgage to feel grown. You don't need to follow someone else's timeline. You need discipline. You need patience. You need consistency. And you need to understand something. Debt is not wealth. Freedom is wealth. I'm worth over $315,000 because I chose myself over society. I chose liquidity over pressure, investing over debt, discipline over validation. And if you're young, if you're blue collar, if you're grinding, if you're scared you're falling behind, you're early. And one day you'll look back at this moment and realize that refusing to buy a house might have been the best decision you ever made. If this video made you think, make sure you drop a like and comment, I choose freedom. I'll be reading every single comment. And if you're still watching, just know that I appreciate your time a ton. And if you're listening, I'm rooting for you. Leave a comment below if this really touched you. Really love making these videos. I'll be uploading them a few times a week. So make sure you stay around the journey. The goal is to hit 1 million by 30. We're going to see what happens in that time frame. But have an amazing rest of your day. Take care. Cheers from Canada. And I'm out. Peace.